You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk about the new girl coming to the NBC Peacock soap in the next few weeks. We are still waiting on the first air date for AnnaLynne McCord as this new girl named Marin, but I have a suspicion of when her first air date might be, and I'm going to share that with you. I increasingly suspect that Marin is really Abigail Deveraux DiMera. So today, we are going to dig into how it's possible and the red flags the soap is giving us that Dear Abby is about to be back in Chad's life. But first, subscribe if you have not. In case you forgot, Clyde Weston murdered Abigail Deveraux. He stabbed her to death in the DiMera mansion, in her and Chad's bedroom. She died June 10th, 2022. June 10th. Remember that date, because we are coming up on the month of June and the 2-year anniversary of her tragic slaying. And although we do not have AnnaLynne McCord's first air date, I think it might be in line with Abby's death-iversary coming in just a few weeks. Word broke in December 2023 that AnnaLynne McCord was hired to play Marin on a 1-year contract. And with an average 6-month tape-to-air delay, that is one of the first signs that AnnaLynne may be playing some new version of Abby. The second red flag is Chad's been talking a lot about Abigail lately to just a variety of people. Not only did he and Thomas, of course, go visit her grave on Mother's Day last week, but this week, Nicole Walker hands Chad DiMera his dead wife's diary. It looks like Nicole found it somewhere, perhaps in the mansion, tucked away. I don't know. So I wonder what sort of tidbits Chad might find in the diary, perhaps something about him moving on with his life, if they ever parted, what she wants for him. And here's another reason I think that AnnaLynne McCord is going to be our new Abby. In real life, if you did not know this, the actress has DID, dissociative identity disorder. She even made this very fascinating documentary about her DID and the childhood trauma that caused it. And her friends, a bunch of her friends are in the documentary talking about the different personalities that they see her switch into, as she's coping with things. I did watch the documentary. It was sad and amazing and incredible that she opened up her life and her mental health struggle that way. So with Abby DiMera, the character having DID in the past, it's kind of kismet if they want to handle it really authentically and do another DID storyline by hiring an actress who has this incredible personal experience with the issue. And she even said that when she has an acting job, that character she's playing kind of becomes one of her alters, one of her personalities, that's how she operates with acting. That's like deep method acting. So I am excited to see her. I've enjoyed her in a bunch of stuff. She's mega talented, obviously beautiful. And in case you didn't know, they wrote out Abigail Deveraux DiMera with this tragic death after actress Marci Miller herself decided she wanted to leave the NBC soap. She said she wanted to do other things, and she did say that she was surprised that they decided to kill off Abby since she is a legacy character, to facilitate her exit. She said that she assumed that they were just going to recast the role. So when Marci left, she said the powers that be at Days basically hinted that Abby would be resurrected one day. And, if she was interested in the role, maybe her, maybe not, maybe a recast. So now when NBC Daytime revealed they hired AnnaLynne to play this character, Marin, she was described as, quote, a fascinating and complicated woman who is devastatingly beautiful, almost angelic in her outward appearance, the desire of many, but her heart belongs to only one man who continues to push her away for her own good. So that last bit I want to talk about is another red flag, the part about her heart belongs to one man who pushes her away for her own good. That sounds like how Chad might react right now to her resurrection, giving his mood. If you don't recall, he just warned Johnny DiMera off of marrying Chanel Dupree a few weeks back. He said the men in their family are cursed and are a danger to the women they love. And he advised Johnny not to bring an innocent woman into this family and to keep her away from the DiMeras. I mean, given that Abigail died a brutal death because of one of E.J. DiMera's enemies, Clyde Weston, Chad might actually be onto something. I mean, there are some unhappy women surrounding the DiMeras. Nicole's baby was stolen. Of course, E.J.'s wife. Stefan's wife is in prison. Anyone that gets near Kristen DiMera is at risk. Dimitri Von Douchebag just broke Leo's heart, and, you know, he's just a very bad man. Megan Hathaway kept the guy she loved frozen in a tube for more than a decade. So, yeah, the DiMeras have a pretty sketchy track record when it comes to love. And I do have to say, you are probably rolling the dice on your mortality by getting involved with one of them. So for that reason and the way that they described the character, I can see that if Marin is Abigail resurrected and has this new lease on life, Chad might avoid her. He might shun her, not because he doesn't love her. He clearly loves her, but more so because he wants her to live and be happy. And he may think that if she's with him and around the DiMeras, that her second chance at life would be lost and she might die again. So that very description of her just screams Abigail to me for other reasons as well. The whole angelic in appearance thing, which implies otherworldliness or, you know, an angelic return from the dead. But is Marin really Abby? And if so, is Abby really herself when she returns? Is this name Marin just a fake name they released to the press to keep it hidden that they were resurrecting Abigail, you know, because they wanted it to be a big splash? Or is Marin some personality that Abigail's brain invented because of the trauma of her murder? Does she come back from the dead with DID, with dissociative identity disorder, that was triggered by the trauma of her killing? I mean, it was hugely traumatic to have this horrible man sneak up on you in your own bedroom and stab you to death. I mean, it's quite possible Dr. Rolfe resurrected her, but then he didn't tell Chad because she didn't come back as Abigail, did not come back as herself. And maybe he thought it would have been, you know, harder on Chad. So maybe that's why he didn't tell him. If you remember some of Rolfe's past resurrections, like Will Horton, he did not come back in his right mind. He had amnesia. And then there was that memory serum they would give to people. Will even thought he was EJ for a while. It was just very messy. And the thing is, maybe Rolfe gave her that memory serum and it just didn't take because of the DID. So Abby could come back to Salem, drawn there, you know, but doesn't know who she is, who Chad is, who the children are, and is this gorgeous woman named Marin that everyone knows is Abby, but she doesn't know she's Abby. I think that would be a very cool way to play Abby's return with a new DID storyline. And of now, you know, right now, I really suspect we could see her on the 2-year anniversary of Abigail's tragic murder. That would be poetic. We'll just have to wait and see. And given that they're keeping Stephanie Johnson over with troubled Everett Lynch, that's another sign to me that Chad is not looking for new love because his old love is coming back, you know, the love of his life. We'll see how it goes. What do you think? Do you want to see Abigail Deveraux DiMera back on Days of Our Lives? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't. Come back soon. As always, we are here talking Days of Our Lives 7 days a week, and I'm your host, Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.